Hello everyone, welcome back to the second episode of Toddler Kid. Today we are here joined by three guests, which is Kishore, Rishwan,
Yes.
and Rinket. For today's episode, we're going to be making a series. It's going to be comprised of many episodes about conspiracy theories.
Yeah, so basically we're just going to be starting somewhat of a trilogy, I guess. So this is going to be like a few, estimated around a 4-parter for the first batch. So if you guys like it, you can just give us some feedback on
3 episodes. It's set.
I guess. So if you guys do like it, you can just hit us up on any types of conspiracy theories that you want to hear. But we won't be doing this for, I think, another month unless it gets a lot more support. So in case it does, we will. But if it's not the case, then we'll just release the first trilogy of episodes, then hope for the best for everyone else. So yeah, okay, carry on, Minzer.
All right, for today's conspiracy theory, we're going to be talking about a famous figure of the past, which is Adolf Hitler, the leader of Nazi. Many mysteries.
Good start.
Really? Hitler? Like, what? Wait, I don't understand. There's a conspiracy theory about Hitler.
There's actually quite a few.
Conspiracy
There's
theory
quite a
about
few.
Hitler. No, Hitler is still alive, but he's just like really old, and he's just a random wrinkly man.
Is that Mingzer, explain? I'm not sure if that's the one that Keat's talking about.
The first theory of Adolf Hitler was that he faked his death. Many people came up with the idea that Hitler did not die in the World War II by suicide. Many people stated that Hitler was replaced by a body double. Then he, and along with his wife, escaped to Argentina and lived the rest of their days there.
But then again, like that's like easily discreditable, right? Because like if you have the DNA sample of anything,
what would you
can just
no. If anything of Hitler's has his DNA sample, what would you compare it to?
Hitler. I mean, he's
Hitler.
on podiums.
But where?
His sweat has drops all over, like the German council, I guess.
Yeah, but how would you determine if those samples did come from Hitler? But even if you discount DNA samples, why would Hitler want to retire to Argentina and just spend his days doing nothing?
Like, like what's the logic behind it?
No, who told you that he retired to Argentina and did nothing?
Yeah, what kind of dumb source is this?
No. This is basically him moving to Argentina, but doesn't really say that he stopped doing what he was trying to do.
But
what evidence is there that he continued his propaganda?
Yeah,
see, there's not really much evidence. There's not much evidence of it, so you can. It's okay lah, this theory, but it's got a bit of this credibility value of like 6 or 7.
Yeah,
I think personally, I think the only reason why people really credit this theory so much is the photographs. There's only like 2 pictures of like someone resembling Hitler, or at least having the same mustache and haircut as him.
What the hell?
You can Photoshop a picture.
Yeah, it was the 1940s. What the hell do you mean? Photoshop didn't exist back then.
Yeah, but who told? Okay. Even if the photograph was supposedly taken in 1940, who's to say that they couldn't just edit any random old photograph into something resembling Adolf Hitler?
I mean, if it were the case, we already know about that by now, and it wouldn't be a conspiracy theory to begin with anyway, right?
Yeah, but if no one tells, then no one knows.
Yeah, but then that's just another conspiracy theory by itself. So you're saying that the people, like all these archaeologists are having a conspiracy to just tell us like their version of the truth.
I guess so, because I don't know, maybe there could be some kind of conspiracy theory about the government trying to control the archaeologists' findings, but that's also another one. So we're just gonna continue with Ming's theory.
Yeah, Lisa, give some facts. Like try and prove this. Like what's like the credible information that's present from the source?
Well, as Richard mentioned, there were a few photos of people who might resemble Hitler or maybe Hitler himself.
But that's just like it's easily discreditable, right? Because
Okay, here's the thing. There's actually a CIA document documenting those said photographs.
oh wait, what?
Yeah, and
I'm looking up the
apparently,
same thing right now, and I can't find it. Like, what?
yeah,
I mean,
I'm
if
literally
this
looking
theory,
at it right now.
no, I mean, like, if it was like to be popularized, right? At least those kinds of documents would have been released to the public, in a
No,
way.
it was released publicly, but like no one could really determine for sure that Hitler was actually alive.
But it's a CIA documentation.
Yeah, I mean,
Is it?
that's the whole reason people like us know about this in the first place.
So, but like,
It's
is
only
it
it's only
legitimate?
like still a theory because we haven't been able to prove that Hitler is actually alive. Because it
I don't
does say
think
here
he's
that
alive.
like there were a few German troops in Argentina, like in that region, to be specific, and they told certain CIA agents that Adolf Hitler is still alive, but without disclosing much else.
Okay. Let's just say, okay, for the sake of this theory, I guess, that Hitler was alive. Okay, even if he was alive, why would he be living the rest of his days in Argentina after, like, causing such mass murder and ethnic cleansing of the Jews through the Holocaust? Like, it doesn't make any sense for him to even exist in Argentina without getting caught. You get me?
Hmm.
No, I mean like, what else can he do? He can't retire to Europe or anything. There's so much hate, and I guess the population of like Jewish people or people he tried to persecute would not exist in South America at that time. And you know, it's like the late 40s, early 50s. It would be easy for him to like get a disguise. I mean, my problem with this theory is that would Hitler himself be able to live a quiet life, just retire away and watch his empire crumble just like that?
Okay, so here's something interesting that I found, right? So there was a documentary on the History Channel, right? It was a whole series, around 2 or
What
3
hunting
seasons.
Hitler?
Yeah. It's about Finding Hitler. The documentary is called Finding Hitler, and it's about these two brothers who kind of believe in such a theory, and then they basically like compile all of these different sources of information.
So
And then
basically, it's
trying.
their version of a podcast.
It's
It's another type of media examining the subject.
Okay.
I mean, we're just doing
But-
this with our limited knowledge and our teenage take on
Yeah, but like
this theory.
just think about this, right? Why would a mass murderer and the leader of a nationalist party who took over most of the world, right? Why would he still want to be alive after what he's done, and then move to Argentina and live peacefully without getting caught for years?
Well, I mean, a lot of
Just think
people
about it.
are scared of death themselves, even if he doesn't mind murdering millions of people who he thinks are not fit to be alive. It's possible.
Nobody
I
likes
mean,
being dead.
yeah, if you're dead, you won't even know that you liked it.
Precisely. So nobody likes
So-
the idea of being dead. No. What I'm saying is, even if he did escape, I mean, he could live out a peaceful life because, like I said, nobody likes the idea of themselves being dead. So the ideal condition is to prolong their lives, I guess, for as long as possible.
But that's the
And
thing. He could theoretically escape, but would he be at peace with himself?
dude, the guy is a mass murderer. If he wasn't at peace with himself, he wouldn't even start this.
No. But here's
I
the
mean-
thing: he could be at peace with himself by murdering a lot of people because that's what he feels is his world order. But what I'm saying is, now that his empire has been taken down, and there are still living and breathing Jews out there, how could he accept that? Having
Yeah,
to
yeah.
retire away in South America with no control over his world
I
order, just seeing his legacy being tarnished like that.
Yeah,
Well, there
it's
are
dumb.
some theories that they were actually plotting a fourth Reich, that they can, just restart their whole thing all over but on a larger scale.
Ooh, but what happened?
Okay, wait.
It was
Let me just point
debunked.
out something. Okay, no. Yeah, you say it's debunked, but I think I could provide some sort of evidence, and pardon me, Mingza, for kind of like barging in on the points here, but um, I don't know if you guys know this, but do you know like Charlottesville? Have you heard of that? The Nazi rally in Charlottesville for white nationalists.
No,
It
I haven't
happened
heard of it.
in okay, so in 2018, right? There was this group of Nazis who I don't know where Charlottesville is. I think it's in Germany
No.
or it's in US.
It should
Is
be in
it
the US, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it a neo-Nazi kind of thing?
Yeah, in a way. So basically, they are like reviving the Nazi, but they're not getting a whole lot of support because they're fools, and they basically they did it, but it's like not the same ideology, I think, because I mean they still want to eliminate the Jews, which is mass genocide, and it's dumb. But they are rallying based on white supremacy. So it's not just the Jews; it's literally every other race.
It's not the same, but they have various similar goals. I mean, these
Yeah.
sort of things should not exist, but there you go.
Minza, do you have any incriminating evidence that this is true?
Well, as it is still a theory, it is technically not proven if it's true or not. But as Rishwan mentioned earlier, back in the 1940s, everything can be faked easily because we don't exactly have the technology to detect the truth. Later that he did just pull out a body double and then replaced him, and then he escaped along and went to Argentina. Plus, he could technically just live out the rest of his life peacefully, or it could just be his plan to, take over the world at this time on a much larger scale, I suppose.
But like he was like 40, right? In 1945, around 40. So
He'd only
it's 20
like just married his wife, and then they presumably committed suicide immediately
So,
after.
like-
They presumably committed suicide, but if they really did put a body double in place of Hitler, because back then only his own troops really knew his face, and maybe all the Jews that were gassed, but I mean they were gassed, so they died, so they can't even tell what Hitler looks like. And then the current pictures of Hitler may not even be the Hitler that we're supposed to be looking for. I mean, like Mingze said, technology didn't even exist to tell if the pictures were fake or if they were real.
Doctor, I mean, yeah, it's easy to say because this whole conspiracy theory in its essence is based on hearsay anyway.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like,
So
even though, like, okay, 1945, like, this is the final point that I have, and I think that it's going to shut the whole case down. He would be dead in 2020.
yeah, I mean that's pretty obvious. He'd have to be over
Yeah.
100 to still be
So
alive
there's-
now.
Yeah, there's no
That's
way.
technically also not true because the longest recording human being alive is above 120.
Yeah,
Yes,
but
yeah, it's 123.
Hitler doesn't strike me as like someone who would take care of his health really well.
How's this? So they escaped to using a body double. They escaped to Argentina, but some kind of unexpected thing happened, like heart attack or death by microbial bacteria or whatever, and he just died before he could put his next plan into place, and that was the end of him. That's it.
Okay, this is a dumb theory. So
Wait,
Wait.
possible, right?
I do see why it's a bit plausible. Okay, maybe not how he died, but yeah, like we didn't actually see a real huge second wave of neo-Nazis trying to take over the world again.
Because something happened that got into his way, and then he just.
Or it could just be like Hitler didn't have enough time to plan. He just died of natural causes like really early.
Yeah.
So
okay,
his
so
plan
this
got
is
derailed.
this is starting to spiral out of control. So I'm just gonna end the episode right here. So
It is a conspiracy theory. What else would you expect?
Actually, I do have something to say about this. This actually could really debunk this whole conspiracy theory. Was that actually all not Hitler's old comrades were actually interviewed about his death, and about most of them did really stated that Hitler was actually dead. That was the real Hitler's body. That was not a body double. Or anything.
yeah, so it's basically discredited in the end. I mean, it's thought provoking, I guess, but in a way, it's highly discredited. So yeah, I guess
But
it's
some of his old comrades were. Some of them also did deny his death, or some also said that it was really him. But who can tell at this point?
Yeah, so that's why it remains a theory. I mean, it's best to
yeah.
accept that he's dead. I mean, whether he went to Argentina or whether he actually died during his suicide, he is going to be dead in 2020 anyway. He can't hurt anyone anymore.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, so don't worry, Hitler's not alive.
What about the
He'll be alive in our memes though.
What about the possibility of him having, I don't know, let's say he had children or anybody that
No. I think I read it somewhere that all his children and all his relatives refuse to take spouses and have children, just to ensure that the name dies out.
Wow.
Oh,
Talk
okay,
about a sacrifice.
Yeah, so it's just dead. Okay, there's no more mass murder like that anymore in the world. So
But believe me, this is actually a normal theory. There is actually one more theory about Hitler. That is more absurd. Even I don't dare to mention.
okay, so we leave that to the audience to decide and look up for yourselves, I guess. So
Like a
yeah,
theory
we're just
about
gonna end the episode right here.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this. But do you guys actually know what's the second theory I've heard about Hitler?
Okay, yeah, what is it? Just mention
Also
it.
about him not dying, but the place where he escaped to was absurd. Literally
Where?
absurd. To
Where?
the moon.
To the moon.
You guys have to believe me, this was actually once a theory. It was actually once a theory, you know.
But
Yeah,
how would
Yes,
this
yeah. This is absurd.
it still
Really,
does not make
Yeah,
any
yeah.
sense?
This is just dumb.
this really existed.
Okay. We'll see you all in the next episode of the Tondel podcast. Goodbye.